right now.
Can a business
So
be human? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, so can a business be human? It's a good thing to move on to. It's an appropriate prompt. For me, the larger the institution, the less likely it has the capability to show you humanity.
I was gonna say that I think it depends entirely on how big the business is or
Yeah,
how big the business wants to get.
right.
Because at a certain point, you have to become cold and go, look, business is business. This is
Right.
effective. This is cost effective. This is efficient. This is going to be the best way to do it. Yes,
Right.
I would like to be nice to you and have that empathy and just do this thing for you. However,
At the
that
end of
would
the
be a
day,
dumb business move. So I
well,
cannot
yeah,
do
there's a
so.
difference between a business and a charity, right?
Hmm.
So there's an institution that I work with on a regular basis. And when I joined that institution, the person who was in charge was just a deeply empathetic kind of human. I mean, if something happened and you needed someone to talk to, she would sit down and you would talk with her for 2.5 hours, on the clock. I mean, she's at work. And she would take the time to sit with you and make you feel better. Or, if you had to do a cancellation or something like that, she almost never assessed cancellation fees.
Right.
And like all those kind of things were like in the execution of now this institution was a nonprofit,
Okay.
is a nonprofit. It's not a nonprofit 401c or whatever it is where they actually provide donations and stuff. It just means that it's a group that isn't allowed to make a profit.
Okay.
So they're only allowed to make enough money to cover their expenses and pay their employees.
Right.
It's still a business,
Right.
um, but it's a nonprofit. So anyway, that person stepped down to move on to a new position, and the person we got that we voted in afterwards was totally the opposite. So
Mm.
we had the first person who was all heart, no business, and the payments were in shambles, accounts were in shambles, money was missing, there was too much money in places. It was just the actual running of it as an institution was just really set to the wayside. And the person we got to replace them was completely the opposite, where
Mm.
every penny counted, and was able to get the business back into a place where it, you know, didn't make a profit, but it didn't take a loss,
Right.
right? Um, but also meant that there was absolutely no tenderness, there was no humanity. I mean, this was a
Hmm.
person who walked into a room in celebration, confronted a person about a sensitive topic in front of all those people, and then when told, I don't think this is the appropriate forum for it, he disagreed. And I was like, no, I think we should talk. I've got time. Let's talk about it now, kind of thing.
Mm.
Like, yeah. So just like really, even like handling situations with employees was just an item on a checklist,
Yeah.
right? Where it was like, pay the bills, check, fire this person because I think they're lame, check. Like it wasn't, there was no
Yeah.
heart in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And we've kind of come to a place now where we have someone in between, which is great news. But it's funny how that destroyed any morale that
Hmm.
was left.
Yeah.
It was something that was kind of already on its way out. They used to have like a weekly get together movie night, and now we have none. It just totally was blown to smithereens.
Yeah.
They would have a weekly, well, was it weekly? It must have been bi weekly employee meeting, and they would always bring a pizza from one of our local pizza companies. And not only did they only bring, so the first meeting after replacement, they brought only one pizza, and it was like a Wingco pizza or something. It wasn't, the best around or anything.
Hmm.
And then that was the only and last pizza they ever brought. So it was this like,
So,
I know this is a thing you guys do, so I'm going to do it this once, and then it's a waste of money. I'm not willing to spend $35 on you guys.
question: Would you
Like,
then? So, would you say that is the fault of the business, the fault of the person, or the fault of the person who hired the person?